Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome to the market close for, well, Wednesday, hump day. Today, of course, being January 28th. We're almost just a few more days left in the month. And then we're going to start moving into that February market. We'll see where things go in February. But January, big month. Big month on the market. The TSX having another green day. Now, mind you, this one was a bit dicey. Quite literally, 20 minutes ago, that would have been a red sign. So we've had a green candle that has pushed us back into the green. So I'll take it. I'll certainly take it. I'll take whatever the market wants to throw our way for sure. Today, of course, also rate decision day on both sides of the border. And it comes as no surprise, we got a double pause. So nothing happening with rates on Canada, on the Canadian side or on the US side. Now, Canada, we kind of knew. It was straightforward. The United States, there was a small chance, a small chance. In fact, the voting on the committee for the Fed, it was 10-2. So there were two that wanted to have a cut, but 10-2. So not unanimous on the states, but nonetheless still a pause. So the markets weren't quite sure what to do, I think, for a little bit. Now the Canadian market, the TSX, most of what we saw today, any of the red we saw today, was more or less us sort of thinking, what's going to happen on the U.S. side? We know what's happening on our side. So a little bit of uncertainty. The price of gold going up, of course, again today, and that certainly helped things. All right, let's I can talk about it, but it's better if we actually take a gander at it. Let's pull on up the TSX, and here we are. Where is my? Oh, there's my blue line. We're so far above the blue line, I have to pull it up a little bit. There's this candle I was talking about. So we've had this nice end candle here for the day. It's pulled us up. Right now we're sitting at 0.10 on the day. Not too shabby. On the month, though, holy banana breads, guys. Right now, on the month, we're sitting at 3.92%. That's not too shabby at all. Very strong January, very strong January. We're well above the blue line, and those of you who are new, that blue line, that represents the dividing line between a green month and a red month. As long as we're above the blue line, we have a green month. And yesterday, we actually went looking back into the past to see when was the last time we had a red month. And guys, it was all the way back in April. So holy banana bread, the TSX is on fire. The S&P 500 now. Look, let's take a gander a little bit south of the border. I'm going to call it flat. Yes, it's technically red right now. It is 0.01% down, but, 0.02% now. But mostly on the flat side. Now, there is a little bit of strength in tech, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We've got the Tesla earnings that are dropping, I believe, right after close. So we got a few things that we got to certainly talk about in there. And we'll actually peek in on those Tesla earnings and see what's happening. And before, I'm going to talk a little bit about my Tesla trade. I got a Tesla trade going as well. So we'll bring that up as well. The NASDAQ. I did mention we had some strength on the NASDAQ, and they are currently up 0.49%. So you can see, and look, there's like a nice healthy green candle to end the day. So I'm liking that for sure. The Dow Jones is down 0.07%, but still well above the blue line. Same idea with the Russell. The Russell is down 0.51, and the Russell's way above the line. Here, let's pull the line up. So Russell doing pretty darn good. So no concerns there. Looks like it looks like January is going to be a green month across the board. So that's pretty good. Now, I mentioned that gold was having a good day here in Canada, and it is. Up 3.52, and you can see, look at that, good double candle. A lot of green. I'm liking it. I'm liking it for sure. Silver following suit. A couple of good green candles here, up 3% on the day. Copper up 0.75, although they are finishing off with a red candle here. And platinum, the new commodity that we added, up 0.96%. WTI having a good day, up 1.64%. And oil, yeah, look at this. We got four green candles, so the last 4 hours. But yeah, the afternoon's been pretty healthy for oil. Bitcoin up a tiny bit, not much. I'll call this flat. Kind of, yeah, we got a little bit of flatness going on here. Ethereum is down a tiny bit. So what can I say? All right, guys, let's take a look at the heat maps. And I did not refresh these before we started, so we're going to quickly refresh them, and that changes the story. That changes the story for sure. Look at this, the banking sector. Financials definitely deeper in the red. Look at that, TD down 2.51%. CIBC's down. Royal Bank 1.34%. Scotiabank 1.51%. Holy banana bread. What can I say? Both railroads deep down today. Look at this, CP down 1.05. CNR down 1.87. Now our minerals looking pretty good. Pretty much all minerals and industrial looking good. Our solid, the solid of the earth part of investing for sure. So gold, of course, as we know, gold is up. Look at this, Cameco. So uranium up 5.30%. That's not too shabby at all. Over in the oil, we got CNQ up almost 0.5%. Synovus up, Tourmaline up 1.32%. So that's pretty darn good for sure. Pipelines looking good as well. Enbridge up today almost 1%, 0.94. Looking south of the border, and interesting day. We've got Nvidia up 1.10. Apple's up 1%. Google 0.42. Microsoft up a full couple in there, 2.19%. Broadcom up 2.44. Amazon looking good. Tesla not so good. Right now sitting at 0.99 to the red side. So we're going to have to see how these earnings are going to take off. Now, I think it's really going to come down to what I don't even think it's going to come down to the numbers. I think it's going to come down to the speech. We need to know what Tesla is up to and see if they can give us a glimmer of hope in there. So we'll see how that is going to look. Heading over to crypto. And this needs to be refreshed. Yeah, everything is up a little bit. Even XRP up 0.05. Dogecoin up a quarter of a percent, 0.25. Bitcoin, Ethereum, all looking good. Solana, not so much. As usual, there's about, more than 15,000 plus coins out there. I like to just grab one that's doing the opposite of the market. So Bitcoin is technically in the green. Let's grab a red coin. Let's go here. Let's see what we got. And this is the Talent Protocol. I don't know what it is. Apparently, it seems to think it's a little talented. Not sure if that's the case. Yeah, you know what? Do you remember that show back in the 70s? So there was a show back in the 70s where entertainers would come up and, they basically entertain. And if the judges didn't like it, well, yeah, this is what happened. And this is for Talent Protocol. I'm sorry. I just don't think they got it. With that being said, if you are interested in Talent Protocol, obviously take a look at their white paper, find out what they're about, maybe follow the developers, check it out, do a lot of homework, but I'll never own them. And I hope most of you will never own them as too. There is money to be made in crypto. It's not with Talent Protocol. I call it a crap coin because it's like playing craps. The house is going to win. You're probably going to lose your shirt. Yeah, just don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Stick to, if you're in the world of crypto, stick to the big coins. Stick to the Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano, and I said Darsh, and gosh darn it, even the Dogecoin is a better place to go. All right, we're going to pull this back up and let's get back into the TSX for now. Oh, the TSX has even gone up a little higher, up to 0.2. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So we're going to be returning, of course, to a to see what's going to go on with Tesla. But for now, hello, the banana bread. I know. Holy cow. Rogers, what are you doing? Trying to add me to the screen. I think I am absolutely heck. All right, let's try. All right. Oops. I think we're good. I think we're good. Holy cow. It actually timed me so bad it booted me right out of StreamYard. So wow, that was a good one. Normally, as you guys know, we've been having some difficulty with Rogers. So Rogers have been giving us these little micro things the last, oh gosh, pretty much since Sunday. I think it started on Sunday. So it's been doing it. Oh gosh, I hadn't seen it at all today. At all today. This is the first time I've seen it today. So like, what the heck? But we're back. Thank you for your patience. I hope we don't have any more. I should knock on wood. There we go, just to be on the safe side. All right, we are back to the chat. Let's get in here. Let's start. Brian in here first with a good afternoon, everyone. We got Stan with a happy Wednesday. Mario says good afternoon, everyone, and I pressed the like Lance. Well, it was a small one that time. I'm like, come on, Rogers. All right. Lance says 5,400 gold before the weekend, maybe more. 54. What are we sitting at right now? We're sitting at 53.80. There's a chance. There's a chance, Lance. There really is. So we'll watch. I think you're right. I think you're right. Adorpat is in the house with a hello, everyone. And yes, interest rates paused on both sides of the border. Abby says, good afternoon, all. I pressed like. Thank you very, very much. And Samantha is in the house with a good afternoon, all. Samantha found our last secret goat yesterday with her super sticker. All I had to do was say it was an animal, and she instantly went to the black cat. And that's what it was. I made it too easy, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. Tom says, blah day for swing trades. Yeah, not a lot happening. I got into one trade. So one trade I opened today is I opened up a Tesla trade. Now, normally, and guys, let's actually take a look here for a moment. Let's see, you're going to share this up. And oh yeah, Because it booted me out, I lost my my shared screen. So give me a second here. I'm just going to share the screen, entire screen. Bang, boom. There we go. Oh, and I'm going to drag this back over so you don't get the thing. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Tesla. All right, and we'll look at it because I've charted it. I've actually charted it on the CDR. So this here is the current. Here, let's shrink this down just a little bit. This here is the current trend that I've got for Tesla. I will tell you guys, I almost will never jump in the middle. I almost will never jump in the middle. And the reason for that is that it doesn't give you that much room. But there are exceptions, and today is what we call an exception. So one of the things, and this is kind of where my mind was this morning. Now I was thinking, all right, we've got Tesla earnings at the end of the day. I don't want to play the earnings. Although I am playing them now, but I didn't want to play the earnings. I was hoping sometimes investors get a little excited about earnings, and sometimes they pile in a little bit, and you get a bit of a spike up towards the end of the day. Well, we didn't get that. That's what I was trying to play. We did not get that at all, so now I'm in for the earnings play to see whatever happens one way or another. Best case scenario, yeah, if earnings go well and we have a nice pump going into tomorrow, well, great. That will be a fantastic swing trade. Worst case scenario, if the earnings don't go well and we have a big dump, I'm going to be in the same position I was in the last trade with Tesla, where I had to average down a bit and do a few little maneuvers to try to get my average cost base on that whole thing down until it would recover. I was stuck in that one for about a week. And I don't like to get stuck in a trade for a week, but I could be. That might be what happens here. We'll actually know. We'll be able to watch the after hours on this Tesla right here. So this is the US Tesla, and this one here is just the CDR. The only reason I got the CDR is I can see the prices, so I can see my targets easier. That's why I've got it here, but they're both the exact same. Like, look, quite literally, can you see any difference? Not really. They're the same. They are the same. So on this Tesla, when they close, we will be able to watch and see what they're doing. We're going to be able to see what they're doing in the after hours. Give us an idea how the earnings are going to go. And of course, the earnings will pop up. Here is that E for earnings. And right now we have nothing, just the estimates. The estimates for the earnings are here. And we want to see numbers bigger than these. But more importantly than these numbers, we want some good information coming out when they actually do their presentation. Now oh gosh, I don't know when they're going to talk, so that could be much later. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But we should at least get these numbers before the stream is done. All right, Brian says, I have the wrong stocks and ETFs. I'm down 0.66 overall today. Okay, well, that's all right. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Tomorrow is another day. That is so true. Azeniel says banks got hit hard as well as international equities. Yeah, banks certainly took it on the chin today a little bit. We got Mary in the house with a hello and 3 likes. Of course, guys, Mary is our official captain of the like button. So if you've not yet hit that like button, now is the time. And I'm going to refresh it over here, see what we're at. Actually, by giving you guys like goals, you guys have been just absolutely demolishing that button. Right now, we're at 26. Oh my God, we're at 26 and there's 76 of you. I'm gonna really challenge you guys today. Let's get to 50. Let's get to 50. So 24 of you need to hit that button. Let's push it up there, and I'll look back in a little bit. I'll give you guys a bit of time. I'll have some coffee because I know some of you right now are busy hitting the button. Oh, so good. Ian says, ENCL has been my best performer this month. Who saw that coming? Good thing I didn't panic sell after Venezuela happened. Yeah, and that was kind of one of the things. Like, guys, after the whole Venezuela thing, I was preaching calmness. I even had the whole map of the U.S. and the pipelines, and and talked a little bit about how that all happens and the direction of oil flowing in those pipelines, trying to bring a bit of calmness to it. And I'm glad it worked out that way. So, it's easy to panic. It's very easy to panic, but I always say this. You know what? When you're prone to panic, take a few breaths and think it out. Just think it out. And usually it's not as bad as your panic wants to make it out to be, for sure. Lisa's in the house with a hi, everyone. Perlovia, yes, tough day for swinging old manage one successful trade thanks to MMY. Yeah, I mean, I had one trade that I did close today, Broadcom, and I closed at a smaller profit. But you know why? I'll tell you why I did it. Is Tesla. So if Tesla were to absolutely have a horrible earnings, and I don't think they're going to, but if they did, there could be spillover that could impact other parts of tech. So I was just like, you know what? Let's just remove any other factors from from my overnight trading, and we'll just stick with the Tesla. I'll take the smaller amount from Broadcom. I wanted more, but I didn't get it. Actually, if there was a point this morning when I could have made a bit more because they had a nice little pump this morning. Well, here, I'll show you guys. Broadcom, where are you? Here we are. So this morning, and I guess you can sort of see it right in here. But yeah, here is this morning. So this red candle here. Now, you might think, oh, it's a red candle. Well, no, it came in and it was green up to here, but then it fell all the way back down. So at one point, it was up. It got pretty darn high. So it was almost to the point I was going to put in a stop loss. Like, I was so close to putting in a stop loss, but then it fell. It fell before I did. And I just waited. I got back in. Still made... well, what, $110? Still made $110, so I was happy. And the reason for the entry this morning, of course, is, well, we got this channel right here, and we may have popped out of the channel, but I figured, oh, looks like we're moving back into it. So that was kind of the whole idea. So once again, this is one I wouldn't have sold if it weren't for Tesla. Tesla. Tesla, how you have played the day so far. All right, Scott's in. Hello, everyone. I'm late. Lost track of time. Oh, that happens. That happens. What I hate is there are days when I'm like, I'm ready for the stream. I'm all, but I completely forget to put up the thumbnail and set up the stream. And it's like, I'm all ready to go, and then I realize, oh, I don't have the stream ready yet. So I'm ready, but the stream is not ready, and I got to put it in pretty darn fast. But it doesn't happen that often, guys. And you guys know. You guys see it up most of the time. Most of the times, I try to get it up between 1 and 2. But there's a couple of times I'll throw it up even earlier in the day if I got some free time and I'm like, oh, let's just put up the thing right now. Today I waited to 2 on purpose because I wanted to make sure that we did have a double pause. I thought we were going to have the double pause, but I had to wait for the 2 o'clock dropping of the Fed decision. All right. Paul says you might want to refresh the U.S. market heat map. I see plus 0.46 for Tesla. Well, I didn't refresh that one, did I? I refreshed this one. All right, let's go back here. I'm going to refresh this because maybe... yeah, it's oh, yeah, guys, yeah. I should have refreshed it. I am so sorry. So yeah, my data was off a little bit on this here. So look at this. Tesla is up at 0.76 and Apple's not up, they're down. So there we go. There we go. Yeah. So Candace, refresh things for sure. Tom says the Gong Show. Yep. Oh no, not again. Yes, that stupid freeze. I'm being censored. You're lagging like my stocks. I know. And this is, yeah, it was a bad one. Like, it actually bumped me out. It bumped me completely out of StreamYard. I had to log back in. And even then, I logged back in and I was still frozen. I was like, what? Let's see. Tesla stock can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. A play on the Buffett saying. Sometimes, yeah. Hamelo says, holy banana bread, I'm early. Nice. Nothing wrong with that. Paul, tell Jill to pause her torrents for better internet, but with her limited site, she probably doesn't do that. She does not torrent. It's amazing. Like for the most part, 99% of the stuff I want to watch is always going to be on one of the streaming services, and that's fine. There's the occasional time there's something I'm looking for that I just can't get anywhere. So, there's the occasional thing I'll have to torrent. But not very often. Not very often. Tim is in the house with a hi, Candace and gang. Paul says, I think some of the Tesla earnings info has leaked as it has been going down last little bit. So if bad earnings, it might not sell off. Well, yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see. Oh, let's get back over here and actually, why are we even here? Let's go big screen. All right, Roy says, I'm holding HND at the moment. I'm treating it like a 1 to 3 month options trade, waiting for natural gas to drop in the spring, summer. Okay, all right. Tesla guidance. Is that what leaked? Did Tesla guidance leak? Uh-oh. Marina says, hi all. How do you feel about REITs that own farmland, especially with this big shift from paper assets to resource-based investments like metals, uranium, and REITs? Do you know of any? A farmland REIT? I don't. I don't ever recall ever seeing on any of the REITs I've looked at. I've never recall ever even seeing farms. So that's a good question. Guys, this is where a whole bunch of brains is better than my one brain. Do any of you know of a REIT that does hold farmland? That's a really good question, Marina. Paul says, it is brutal listening to Elon on earnings calls. I think he is thinking hard not to say the wrong thing. Maybe. Rob says silver is nearing all-time high today. Yeah, that's a normal thing, though, now. And your SVR is doing fine. Nice. Oh, Vic, no, not CSU. Constellation Software, yeah, I know. They have had a rough time of it for sure. Why are the banks down? That's a good question. It's a good question. I don't see any direct catalyst as to why the banks are down, other than there was market uncertainty, and I think the banks per se, I think they kind of a little bit of uncertainty was impacting them. Whereas, I mean, if you look at Canada overall today, it was basically energy, gold, materials, oil. That was all sort of pushing things up. That was kind of pushing things up. Now, if those weren't doing well, if those sectors, we would have definitely had a red day. No doubt about it. Paul says, Tesla was so bad in 2025 for all the ups and downs. There are many times in 2025 Tesla shares minus debt was positive, and the next day not. More like about 6 times in 2025 with a final one in December. Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with Tesla being up and down quite a bit. I like the volatility in there because, that's one of the reasons I like to play them, for that volatility. Let's see. Me too, Vic. Guys, we got 1 minute until the bell. That's a perfect time here to quickly come over here and see if you guys got us up to that 50. We're going to find out here. And, guys, you fell short. 40. Still 40's good, but 50's better. Oh, boy. All right. Rory says, about time banks drop. Makes bank cheaper. Yeah, it is nice. I mean, banks have been tearing it up for so long that anytime we do get a little bit of a correction on them, it's actually pretty healthy for the banks. John says, thanks to AVGO, I made enough for cheap dinner for 2. Nice. Time to go out and buy a couple boxes of Kraft dinner. All right. Ian says, what's the difference between swing trading and day trading? Are they the same thing? Not exactly, but they're close. They're very related. So, oh, just 1 second. The market. The market's closed, guys. All right, let's turn this off. Okay. It's so weird getting the bell every day on time now. That's just, that's awesome. Okay, so yeah, so let's go start with day trading. So day trading, you are looking for shorter trades. You are tending to do basically, and there's a few different types. There's things like scalping. There are longer day trades, but you are basically trying to do it all in one day. So for the most part, a lot of day traders, they start the day with nothing in their account, well, except for money, and they cash out before the end of the day. So you're making a whole bunch of little trades. So sometimes you're not trading, you're not hoping for something to go up $1. You're hoping something goes up 5 cents, maybe 10 cents. And you're going to capitalize on that. And you're normally buying either a lot, or you may be buying a lot via margin as well. So day traders, they tend to move faster. They're making trades quick, and like quite literally, a day trader can sit there and make a trade, like buy and sell in 5 minutes, and buy and sell and in the next 5 minutes, and they might make six or seven buy and sell pairs on that single stock through the day, especially if there's a lot of volatility happening. So that's kind of one of the. It's a lot more stress. It's a lot harder to do. And you normally in those cases you don't have time to stick around, so you are using stop losses. So you may get in at $10, and if it falls below $9.95, you're getting out. You're just taking that loss, moving on to the next one. So it's faster paced. You can make a lot of money, but you can lose a lot of money fast too at the same time. Swing trading is longer. So swing trading, you are looking for longer periods. Like it could be, you might be trading in a week. You might be trading in a month. It really boils down to the type. So, I think of it as almost a spectrum of swing trading. Like, you can have swing trading where some of it is, some of the stuff you buy, you will be selling the same day. It really just boils down to, what you're doing, what your time frame is, what you're charting. So, when I look, so for example, let's pull this back up. So right now with my Tesla trade, and I'm gonna head to this one first, just because we have the chart in here. Right now 38.13. I'm hoping to sell it up around $39. That would be a great place to sell it. That's kind of, that's me playing this channel. Now we got a break. We'll either have a big break up to the upside or the downside, depending on how these earnings go. And in fact, if we go over here, right now in post, they are down a little bit, 429. So it looks like they might be playing to the downside. So that could be a trade that ends up going a lot longer for that reason. They're both considered income. So when I say income, I mean business income. Now, if you do very long swing trades, well, those aren't technically swing trades when you're doing them over really long periods. It's more or less just rebalancing, to be honest. But, you can, it really boils down to what you're doing. Day trading, I usually don't recommend. Like, I think it's a lot harder to be successful as a day trader than as a swing trader, because and also depends on how you do it. Like, I have my method of doing it. My method is that the things I'm trading have good fundamentals. So if it goes south, so like for example, if Tesla goes south tonight, I can wait them out. I can wait for the recovery. Maybe it won't be until February, as in early next week, that I can get out of this trade. But I'm okay with it. That's kind of the thing. I've got, I don't put all my eggs in one basket, so I can afford for one of them to get stuck for a bit, and wait that time out. Some people don't have that luxury though. And that once again comes to a situation where if you don't have like a lot of luxury when it comes to the trade, like let's say you just have a small amount of money and you're making one trade, that's all you can really afford. you in that case may very well want to have a stop loss because you're like, well, I can't sit here for a week waiting for this to come out. Then it sort of handcuffs me. So yeah, there is that as well. All right. Oh boy, tangent time. Lisa says, if anyone is looking to buy 1 ounce of silver maples, check, or 1 ounce silver maples, check your local post offices. They don't change the price with the spot price. I bought 2 today for $140 each, over $160 at Silver Gold Bull. That's a really good thing. That's a good idea. Like if silver's flying up and you can find a retailer that, doesn't change or doesn't update their prices daily, you might be able to get some really good deals for sure. And I can see Canada Post being a place where you probably, they probably update the prices like once a week, if that. Rory says, I'm in an inverse natural gas swing trade at the moment. It's a longer time frame trade. Yes, but you're also using leverage, a 2x leverage in there. So be careful. That's what I always say. And Tom did the same kind of as me. Made a quick 130 off of Broadcom. My tail is wagging. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, some people will get greedy. Like, I like to make $1,000 off a trade, but I'll take $100. I'll take $100 here and there. Then get a better entry point. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Perlovia says, call me crazy. I bought 20,000 shares of IFOS.V at $3 and plan to sell them tomorrow. Wish me luck. Oh gosh. I am afraid to pull this up, but let's pull it up. Maybe you don't even want me to pull it up. You might be like, don't burst my bubble. Here we go. IFOS Incorporated. I have never heard of this company, but they're down today, 2.91%. And you must have got in right at the end of the day here. So sitting at 3. Let's take a gander at, okay. So they have been moving up. All right, this is good. I like what it looks like. Let's see what they do here, first of all. Okay, a specialty fertilizer company. All right, and you've got projects spanning 3 continents. Vertically integrated phosphate fertilizer. I like this. I like what they're doing. All right, I like what they're doing. I think that's pretty darn cool. I always like to look in the back end too. Let's just take a look. Although this type of play is kind of, the back end's not as relevant. Ooh, I love this. Look at this. Their return on equity, 33.41%. That's not too shabby. 21% debt to equity ratio. All right, so their fundamentals are not that bad. And yeah, you could see a turnaround. So I wouldn't call you crazy. I would call it risky. That's a lot of money to put into that. I guess the one thing I would be worried about, well, their volume's actually not that bad. I was going to take a look at, see what their volume is. So of course, that volume, I wonder if it's been updated for today, some of that volume might very well be mostly you. But it's, yeah, good luck with this. Good luck with this trade. Let us know. Let us know tomorrow, because we do have a show tomorrow. So let us know if this worked. And Paul says day trading is more frequent and no capital gains losses, just business income, 100% taxed. Yeah, absolutely. And, swing trading as well if it's shorter term. Like if you're swing trading under 30 days, then yeah, it is technically business income. Scott says good luck as well. Let's see. Lisa says, I went to 5 before I found one that had any left, and I got the last 2. Nice. Gursky, hello. Did you see Saskatchewan with the big gains today? I did not. Well, I did see Cameco. They had some pretty good games, but SASK. Let's just take a look here. So Athen Energy. There we go. Oh, Atha Energy Corporation. Oh, look at that. Yeah, they were up really big, 19.355%. Now, they are technically still a penny stock. They exploded up from, oh boy. Let's just take a look here. All right. Oh, that's interesting. And let's see here. What do we got here? Oh, they're uranium. So Uranium Mineral Exploration Company. And I'll tell you something, guys. I don't know if you guys know this. Uranium's not easy to find. It is, it's actually between, when you look at most of the minerals, uranium's one of the hardest ones to find. And you might think, wait a minute, it's radioactive. You should be able to find it easily. Well, it is radioactive, yes. But it doesn't, in the form that you find it in the ground, it's not super, it's not like broadcast level radiation. It's not, you have to refine it and everything to really pull up, really get the radiation at a high level. But for the most part, the amount of earth over top of it is enough to sort of block off, to block out your Geiger counter or whatever you're using. So it is hard to find. I'm just putting it out there. Most people don't realize it. So, this is a tough job. Now, if they have, and here's an interesting thing, is if they've exploded this much in one day, I wonder if they actually found a new deposit. We'll hit the news and see if there's anything here. January 22nd, let's see, announces the upsizing of convertible debenture financing. Okay, yeah, there's nothing here in anything that's telling me, yeah, I don't see anything here to sort of explain why they've gone up so fast. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting, especially, and I'm going to assume that they are in Saskatchewan, hence the name. And of course, the uranium in Saskatchewan is some of the best in the world. So yeah, this could be an interesting, It's risky though. It is a penny stock, definitely risky. I don't know if there's anything on the back end here. So yeah, they're still, well, they're technically not profitable, but they're pretty close. I mean, they're only a negative 4.95 on here, but it looks like they don't have any debt. So if they did find something, they'll become profitable very fast. No doubt about it. All right, Land is a farmland REIT. Ooh, let's check out Land. I've never heard of Land. I love the ticker though. Land US. Oh, is it it must be this one. Is it a US REIT? Let's see, Gladstone Land Corporation. Yeah, so publicly traded real estate, REIT that invests in farmland in the U.S. So there you go. So we have one in the U.S. I'm surprised that we don't have one in Canada, though. Unless we do and none of us just know about it. But there we go. There's a U.S. one, your Gladstone Land Corporation. What do they have? Do they have a... Yeah, they got a half-decent yield, 5.73%. Obviously, this is going to be one for your I would use, yeah, I would put this in your RRSP because, you don't want to lose 15% of that. And also keep in mind, it is anything from a REIT is 100% taxable as well. So your RRSP would be your best place for this one if you want to get into land. Let's see. Ian says, I remember Land getting pumped hard a few years ago. Check the chart. Sure, let's take a look. Let's go. I'll go back 3 years. Oh, let's go back 5 years. Probably here. We might need to go 10 years to see the whole thing. Yeah, they had, look at this. Now this, of course, was during the pandemic. During the pandemic, a lot of money went in here and then, yeah, okay. All right, Alant says FPI Farm REIT. All right, ooh, another one. Let's take a look at this. FPI. FPI Farmland. So yeah, another U.S. one. So here's another U.S. one. Farmland Partners. And much smaller dividend, 2.188% and quarterly. But let's take a look here. I wonder if the same kind of thing happened. I'm going to go to their... Not as bad, not as bad. They did have a pump, and this was around, yeah, the pandemic time. And yeah, then they've kind of, yeah, interesting. So we have a couple in the US. Paul says there was a problem with silver physical versus paper silver. Physical dealers are only buying silver at 75 USD. Rumors are also COMEX itself could be bankrupt. Oh, interesting. Perlovia, cow. I remember seeing cow once. Let's take a look here. Whoa, that's caught. Cow. I do remember seeing cow. Right, yeah, here it is. It's the iShares Global Agriculture Index. I like it. So maybe this would probably have farms in it. So let's just see here. So look, okay, so they're basically replicating the Manulife Investment Management Global Agriculture Index. It doesn't tell me exactly what's in here, but I have a feeling that you're going to get some farm exposure in here as well. So, or also index, or just agriculture dealers that at least deal with farms. So you might either get some secondary farm exposure, but you probably do get some good, some farm exposure in here as well. Let's take a look. How have they done in the last year? Kind of. It's kind of sideways a little bit. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a super profitable one. You get a small dividend, 2.149%, but you know, yeah, this is probably gonna. I would think this is something that would do better in the future. But iShares, this is one of the things I do like. iShares have a lot of these really cool ones, like like one of the X ones. They just happen to get cow, and that's a great ticker for sure. Let's see. I thought my question was going to make you miss the bell. It can't because I got the double alarm now. So on my watch, I got an alarm at 1 minute before the bell, and that lets me know to be ready. And then at the bell, the second alarm goes. So when the second alarm goes, I grab the bell. Worst case, I could be 3-4 seconds late, but that's the worst case. Canadian and U.S. indexes finished in the green. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's look at our final indexes here. We'll also take a look here. Oh, look at this. Oh, no, look. Look at Tesla. They're up. Currently sitting at 445 in after hours. But this can change. This can change, especially once Elon starts talking. This can change. But right now, we got a little bit of hope. A little bit of hope here on the Tesla. But yeah, let's take a look here. So yeah, the TSX finished 0.24% to the good. Like it. The S&P 500. Now, well, the S&P 500 actually did finish in the red, minus 0.01. So not that bad. But the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones both finished in the green. So 0.32 up on the NASDAQ and 0.02 up on the Dow Jones. And the Russell finished 0.49% down. So yeah, not bad though, not bad. And of course, now the big story, of course, is Tesla. As we're watching what happens here, and right here in the post, we can see 446.40 right now, and we'll check back on this for sure. All right, now without getting too obsessed on Tesla, let's answer more questions here. The silver prices could be a short squeeze. Oh. Right now, I still think, I think silver's going to be fine. I don't think anybody's going to pull off a short squeeze. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen. Ian said, I hear statistically day traders don't make money. I take it swing trading is more profitable if you do it right. Swing trading can be more profitable, yes, but you have to have patience. It also depends on how you do it, though. Some people like margin. I'm not a big fan of margin because, if you're not using margin, then you don't have to worry about margin calls, and you have that luxury. Because if you're taking a loan, and even if it's a fundamentally sound company and it does go down, you could hit a point where, you could get margin called on it, and that could kind of really torpedo your trade a little bit. So I do like it. I like it if, like I said, the big thing is I do pretty safe. I think my trades are mostly safe. The channel members who follow me, you guys know what I'm trading. So, how often do I lose? Not very. But that's because I can wait things out. I can be patient. I have that luxury. If you don't have that luxury, though, yeah, you'll end up taking more losses along the way for sure. A question for the. Okay, it's just a question for the. Perlovia, let's not forget you are not losing money unless you sell, but same goes the other direction. No moolah if you do not sell. Yeah, absolutely. Unrealized losses, unrealized gains. Exactly. Paul, how many times a day with your broker would you sell stock A and buy stock B and repeat? Or technically, you cannot do more than that as you would have enough money to sell and buy a second set. So let's go back. When I used to day trade, when I was day trading, I would sell sometimes in a single day. I might make uh, 30, 30 to maybe 40 transactions, and a lot of it was chipping. Like I would go, like especially Manulife. Back in the day, I used to really love trading Manulife Financial. I would get in, and I would ride. Like when you look at these, like if this, I'm just going to pull this up. We're going to stay on Tesla, but for now, if this was Manulife, I would be riding up and down everything, every little groove in here, and this is the 1 hour. So if you actually broke it down to less than that, because I used to look at about the 30-minute chart, I could see more, and that would be one of the things that I used to do a lot of trading on. So that was be that thing. I would stick with like Manulife. Actually, back then GLCC as well. I used to swing trade on them. Also Air Canada, some of the shorter ones, but Air Canada, sometimes you can get in trouble with Air Canada a bit on day trading levels. I'm not so worried about the swing trading levels, but yeah. So yeah, there can be a lot. You can have a lot of, and keep in mind, it's a lot of work tax time. It's a lot of work. Ian says, question for the precious metals people. If silver was in a downtrend, could the silver coin shops not buy your coins? If they thought it was going lower, could they refuse to buy? That's a good question. And, here's a funny thing. I mean, maybe an unscrupulous silver person, if the prices are dropping and they're projected to continue dropping and silver futures are down, I think they would probably offer you less. I think they would just increase their spread to the downside. That's what I think would happen. Scott says Ferran had a good day today. Oh, did they? Let's take a look. Good old Ferran. There we go. Ferran Technology. So look at this. So today they are up 5.27%. So there we go. So yeah, few people were worried when they went down a little bit, but like I said, they've been having this is a good year. Like, look, they've been doing fantastic. Perlovia says maybe a new title should be Swing Day Trader. Maybe. Well, I mean, I didn't come in here and, my goal today was not to be in here just talking about swing trading all day. The goal, well, the goal is to go wherever you guys want to go. So, if you guys want to talk about swing trading, we talk about swing trading. If you want to talk about canoe, we talk about canoe. Oh, speaking of canoe, I haven't looked at them in a hot minute. Let's see here. That's 1641. All right. I just want, yeah, they're down a little bit. I want to see a new all-time high. I just do. Your taxes must be fun to do in a non-registered account. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Thanks for the info. Why do I still care? Hi, Candace. Thoughts on HEQL versus FEQT? All right. So FEQT, of course, all equity. It has some exposure to crypto. I like it for that reason. It's not, if you're looking for income, it is not going to give you really much. If I remember correctly, I think it's an annual dividend on FEQT here. But that crypto exposure, well, that's FREQ? I don't even know what that is. It's a penny stock. Let's try this again. FEQT. Here we go. There we go. All right. So yeah, it's an all equity. So you're getting exposure to everything. The Fidelity one gives you, of course, exposure to crypto as well. But I mean, it's a good growth. It's a good growth ETF for sure. Now this one here, oh boy, yeah, it's not even telling me, but we can see. We'll just go into the key data. It'll show us. Yeah, here we go. Every December you get your dividend. So once a year, that's it. Now HEQL, well, this one's a little bit of a different beast. And we'll pull this up here. So this one here is enhanced. So if you want income and you want the all equity, well, this is where you're going to get it, HEQL. So when you look at it, well, that's wrong. I think that one is wrong. I think they're supposed to be. I think this is supposed to be a bigger one up, unless I'm thinking of a different one. But let me just pull up. No. Oh, you know what? I wasn't thinking of HEQL. I'm thinking of a different one there. Oh my God, I always get that mixed up, but that's fine. Yeah. So this one, and we'll pull up. Give me a second here. Let's pull up the key data. So yeah, this one here, you're getting, what is it? It looks like, yeah, it looks like it is monthly 5 cents. So, it's not a huge amount, but it is a good fund. It is also a good fund. That's the Global X. Now, I don't know why they're calling it enhanced. That's gotten me a little bit, see, I'm actually thinking, I think it's EQCL I was thinking of for a second, but there's so many Qs. Anyway, yeah, looking between these two, I think they're still similar. I still think they're similar, but FEQT, you're getting exposure to Bitcoin. That is kind of the diversity in there over HEQL. And I haven't really looked at what HEQL holds, but you know what? Let's take a look. That's what I always say. All right, let's pull up Google, and we're going to go HEQL. All right, here we go. And Global X, that's not the one I want. Here we go, Global X Enhanced, all equity asset allocation, perfect. All right, okay, now this one has leverage, so that's where they're getting their enhanced part. I was wondering where the enhanced comes in. Now that's an interesting thing. All right. That's an interesting part of the equation that I wasn't aware of. So HEQL, you're getting, they're calling that light leverage. I always call, to me, 25% modest leverage, but that's just me. So, okay, perfect. So this is interesting. So it doesn't look like, yeah, we don't have covered calls, but we have, and that explains why the dividend is small on this one. So you are going to get bigger growth movements. That's what you should get. And yeah, I would say so. And let me just take a look here. Yeah. All right, perfect. So yeah, HEQL, you're going to get a little bit more. Now, mind you, if the market's going down, you're going to go down 25% harder. Same direction. So basically, up 25% harder, down 25% harder. It should technically equal itself out. And if you look at it from this perspective, bull markets last a lot longer than bear markets. So on a longer term, you should still be in better shape than with a non-leveraged version. So that's kind of what you're looking at with HEQL. You're looking at that 25% light leverage versus, of course, having more exposure to things like Bitcoin that you're going to get with FEQT. Now this one here, I wonder what it is holding. Yeah, perfect. This is all I wanted to see. So yeah, it's heavy in financials and IT. And oh yeah, here's your. Oh, and it's actually holding HEQ. Let's see, security name, weight. Its top holding is HEQT. Well, what's this? I thought this was HEQT. Oh my gosh. No, HEQL. There we go. HEQL. That's why. So yeah, it's holding HEQT, which is just your regular all equity one from iShares. Okay. There we go. It was the L that threw me out. It was the L. I was like, what's going on? So yeah, the L is of course for the leverage. So yeah, this one will have a bit more leverage for sure. That's all I can really say. Holy banana bread. That was fun. Ooh, Tesla beat earnings. Stock up $17 in after hours. Tesla reported earnings of 50, beating expectations of 40. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's actually just take a gander here. Well, I'll refresh this, see if we got A earnings in here yet. Oh, I'm now, it put me on the TSX, but let's get back to Tesla. Here we go. I still don't have it, but look at this. I mean, look at the earnings right now, 443. So Tesla looks like they did good. I'm liking it. I am very liking this because this is good news for the swing. And I think, Tom, if I'm right, I think you might be in the swing too. So definitely that's pretty cool. Scott says, I'm considering replacing USCL. Decent yield, but growth has been less than spectacular. Thoughts? Yeah. I think there's a lot of, I think there's a lot, like quite literally, I am a huge fan of HYLD. So I don't know. I mean, it really boils down to what you want to do. But yeah, I think you can probably do better than USCL for sure. Pat, Tesla, Microsoft, and Meta all beat earnings this afternoon, just reported. Nice. You see, and I'm kind of curious. I pulled the trigger on Broadcom because I was a little bit worried of collateral, but obviously that was a wrong move. So yeah, and it's up a tiny bit. So it looks like it's not going to be one of these ones where I'm going to be like, oh my God, I missed out on a giant pump. I'll get the pump. I'm going to get the pump, of course, from Tesla. So that's a good thing here. And I'll let you guys know tomorrow how well that worked out. The channel members will know for sure. Jonathan says Topicus is also getting cream. Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, because Topicus, of course, Topicus.com, a spun-off of Constellation Software, and that their whole ecosystem, it's just not. Yeah, they're all getting creamed right now. I'd love to see this get turned around, but I'll tell you, AI is advancing so fast that I think there could be some more issues. I worry a little bit about some of these companies. Now Constellation Software, they've got the pockets. I think they got the chops to turn it around, but it's a tough one to watch. Lance says, I've changed my stance on silver prices. Before I said 125 by summer. Now I say 125 by Valentine's Day. Ooh, yeah. Well, where are we at right now? On silver? So right now, we're at 115. So could we get to 125 by Valentine's Day? That's what, is that the 14th? So halfway through February? Yeah, we could. You might be right, Lance. You might be right. All right. Oh, all right. Let's just go big screen just for a bit. Luke says, Candace, I have a good sized portfolio which is doing quite well. My DIY broker has offered me 2 million margin. I rarely use it, but once in a while I see a great bargain and I use a bit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know what? If you have use of margin, and it sounds to me like you have a very good sized portfolio. So, because a lot of times the margin a broker is going to offer you means that you've got enough stock that if you completely, botched it, they've got enough collateral to pull it out of your stock. So you obviously have a very big portfolio. Yeah, in that case, I'm not saying margin is bad. I don't want to say margin is bad. I'm just saying I don't use margin. But in some cases you do, and there is, of course, complications when it comes to a swing trade. If it, you don't have, like I said, mostly it's with that luxury. The way I trade, that would be, I think, a problem for somebody on margin. But a lot of people don't trade the way I do. There's a lot of swing traders that like, all right, I'm not writing that down. I'm going to throw in some stop losses. It's like I'm not taking a big loss. If it drops below this point, I'm selling, moving on to the next one, and that's fantastic. And there's nothing wrong with that. But If you were a margin trader as well, you probably would be going that route. Let's see. I have a good sized portfolio. Oh, I think I just read that one. Rob says, I get a feeling trying to sell silver is like dealing with a pawn shop. It probably depends on who you're approaching, but yeah, sometimes they'll try to. Sometimes some places will haggle you. I don't know if they'll do that with silver, but a lot of times you're not going to get what it's worth. I mean, they have to make a profit, so you are going to take a small loss. Let's see. Paul says now you never get to trade at the last part of the day with the Financial Express ongoing. That's true, but if there's trades that I think might happen, I can always put in limit orders, things like that. So yeah, there's ways around it. I don't mind. I mean, the Financial Express has been fun while it's been going on, and it's still going on for now. Yeah, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. It is neat. It is neat actually doing these every day. Perlovia says, with silver being 100 plus, it might start being scary for silver stackers, like unwanted guess. Maybe. Let's see. Candace, what are the underlying reasons for HHIS continued underperformance? Well, first of all, let's actually take a look. Let's go into HHIS here. All right. So obviously there are a few of the single shares in there that are not pulling their weight for sure. So yeah, that will definitely impact it. We've also had a lot of issues in technology over the last little while, but I think things are turning around in technology, and that I like. So when you look at it, and we're just going to do the 1 year because quite literally they're pretty much. I'm going to kind of ignore this part because they launched and they went into Liberation Day. So yeah. So basically they launched right here anyway. They went into Liberation Day, so you kind of have to ignore this. But if you look at from where they launched and you look at where they're at now, they've mostly been a flat fund. So you can't really say that there's a lot of underperformance there. Like HHIS is not designed. It's not a growth fund. Growth on something like HHIS is what I would call icing on the cake. Now, a lot of the funds that are in it, they're all pretty aggressive. So most of them are at the money covered calls, meaning that they're not giving you as much room for upside. So this here is designed to go, it's designed to go forward, to go flat. It is designed to be flat. It's designed to be, it's sort of like Utes, kind of in that way. And when you really look at it from from the beginning, yeah, you're down a little bit right now, but that'll bounce back. I don't really I'm not sitting here thinking that this is going to be an ETF that goes to like $15 this year. It's probably not. It's probably going to. It'll probably get back up to 13, but I don't see it going much above 13. Like it might go above a little bit, but I would say it's probably going to range. I would even go as far as saying it could easily range from 1150, probably to about 1350. I think that's kind of a good range for this fund. So you have to sort of keep that in mind. Now, of course, I am what you call a growth income investor. So I like a bit of both. But what I do is when I hold a fund like this, challenge, it's going to be pure income. And I accept that. I accept that it's pure income. So I will probably then hold something that's going to be more growth to sort of balance it out. And that's kind of the way I look at it. Because there's many ways you can do a growth income portfolio. You can try to find those funds that are all giving you exactly what you want on both sides. But chances are you might actually find better efficiency to grab some of the funds that are just pure income and then balance them off with a few things that are giving you more growth. So there's a lot of ways that you can certainly do it. There's a lot of ways you can balance things out, but I would consider HHIS to be an income fund. I wouldn't consider it to be a growth income. I would call it a straight up income, pure income. Let's see, Luke. says, hey, Jay. Hey, Jonathan. I was looking at Topicus and Lumine. Yeah, another one of the ones spun off from Topicus. Great software companies getting smoked in the market right now. And that's the problem. AI, oh gosh, it is just getting so good. So good that people, the software companies are going to really need to adapt. If they don't adapt, if they don't bring the AI into it to make something even better, then there's going to be problems. And I think that's part of the fear that's around a lot of these companies right now. Perlovia, did we get 50 likes? I don't know. Let's find out. We were at 40 last time I looked, and then I totally forgot about it. And here we go. I just refreshed the test box. 56. We got 56, so we're there. All right, now let's push you guys to 60. That's what I'd say. Oh, so good. Andrew says, I'm number 51. Nice. Oh, we got the other watch on as well. I'm going to check this here. We got our sub watch on. So right now, we are 56 subs away from 10,000. Now, I've been thinking about, guys, I've been thinking about this whole thing. And last night I was dreaming. Yes, I dream about work. I was dreaming about the wheel and, and just some things, ways. I kind of got a concept. I've got a concept of a plan here. And I'm not talking like a concept of a healthcare plan. We're talking about a concept of a wheel plan. And I was telling Jill about it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get this electronic wheel. I can have it on the monitor. And Jill's like, no, you have to have a real wheel. I'm like, what do you mean? She says, like a physical wheel, like that makes the sounds and everything. And then she went and ordered one. So apparently we're going to have a real wheel. So we'll have a real wheel. It won't be the wheel over there. But I got a concept of a plan. So as it is, it's going to be basically, it's going to be you guys versus the clock. So you got 10,000 seconds to get 10,000 points. And we're going to see if we can do it. And there's going to be a whole bunch of, there's going to be some mechanics behind it. And Jill thought they were too complicated, but I don't think they're complicated. So there's going to be three main things that go on with this. So we're going to have games that'll be on the board. There's going to be a bear on the board. You don't want to land on the bear because the bear will eat up some of our points. However, I don't want the bear to come along and eat all the points. So we need to have a defense against the bear. So I thought we'll have shields, sort of like a spaceship. So if our shields are up to 100% and we land and we spin the wheel and we land on the bear, then the bear does no damage at all. So it doesn't eat a single point. If our shields are at 50%, then the bear would actually eat half of our points. If our shields were at 0%, then goodbye all of our points. But there'll be lots of ways to get shield strength as we're playing. And I'm thinking of just different things. And anyway, I know it sounds really kind of manic at the moment as it's all in my head. But once I've designed it and got it all working, I think it's going to be absolutely, it's probably going to be the most fun stream that we've ever done. I think it will be the most fun ever. All right. Rob says, I'm thinking about getting into iBit right now because Bitcoin seems to have the money rotate out of it. So that would mean I'd be buying in at the bottom, perhaps. I think there's definitely room for Bitcoin to go up. So you may not be wrong on that, Rob. Michael says, hello, Candace. I know you're not crazy about Mirren, but it seems to be doing better. I like most oil plays and does have a decent dividend. Mirren. We haven't looked at Mirren in a while, have we? All right, here we go. Mirren Energy. Well, look, they're up a little bit today, up 2.88%. So we got to give it that. My biggest complaint is that, well, now they're actually getting a little bigger. I was going to say they were kind of a penny stock, but now they're starting to feel penny adjacent. If they can keep up here. Now, this is the problem. They have done this before, and they've come back down. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a trace back after this. So Michael, if you're looking to buy more, you might get an opportunity at a little bit lower, but nonetheless. And let's see here. Right now they got a 3.7 cent dividend. It's one of the ones that pays in USD. And let me just double check. I thought this was a Canadian company. I think it is. Yeah, it is. It is. All right. Sometimes companies on Canadian exchanges, if they get a lot of their revenue from the States, sometimes they'll just pay you in USD. So it does happen. All right. So one of the things too to keep in mind is when you do have a company doing that, you always want to, what's the best word for it? Take that into consideration when you are doing if you're doing any calculations, like if all of your prices are in Canadian, but your dividends in US, you'll need to convert that to Canadian if you want to calculate like total return and all of that fun stuff. Yeah, so anyway, that's pretty cool. Oh, I did want to wait a minute. I wanted to quickly look at the back end here. Let's just go to the back end of Marin again. And this one here, I do like a few things on the back end on this one, Michael. Like, I like the fact they've only got 18% debt to equity. That's pretty good. They are profitable, 8.37 right now in the return on equity. So it's not a bad company. I'd call it penny adjacent. Is it worth investing in? I mean, if you think this company, if you like this company, still do your homework and everything. But I wouldn't say it's not a bad choice. It's penny adjacent, but it seems to be moving in the right direction. So I'll call it that. I'll call it that for sure. Oblique is in the house with a hey all. Perlovia. Divs on Marin are awesome and lately been coming up 215 today. There we go. There we go. So there you go, Michael. You have Perlovia as a fan as well. Hamelio says, you have a video comparing HEQL with some of those EQTs. I might. I make a lot of videos. I think I do. I know I have. Yeah, I think I have that one. I think the EQCL might be in that video too. So, yeah, and tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, but tomorrow I am filming a video, but I've already got Friday's video done. I'll be uploading it though tomorrow for the channel members. So our next video, we're actually going to be looking at those Global X ETFs. So GLCC, CPCC, and AGCC. So I'm looking forward to that one. I like that one. And also I changed up a little something in the video. We'll see what you guys think of it. There we go. Paul says silver investors don't forget to take profits. It cannot go straight up forever. It will mean revert. Yeah, nothing goes up forever. And that's one of the other reasons. Like, somebody said to me, why do you like ETFs, like a silver ETF instead of physical silver? Well, part of it is it's easy for me to take profits. It's a lot harder if you're holding a bunch of physical silver. It is harder to take profits, of course. A dividend shark is in the house. Cue the Jaws theme. Let's see. I second on replacing USCL S&P 500 at all-time highs, and they still cut the dividend this month just a little bit. HYLD seems better. Yeah, exactly. Jonathan says Meta is jumping in after hours. Yeah, well, let's take a look. Let's look at all of these. Let's look at all of these right now. So, we'll go to Meta first. Here's Meta. Holy banana bread. I made the wrong play with Tesla. Look at this. So currently, in after hours, Meta closed at $668.26. They're up to $740.34. All right, any of you guys holding Meta? Because this is looking. Now this can still come back down. And there's still there's also the pre-market as well. So, but yeah, Meta. Look at that. And let's take a look at their earnings. So Meta. It's not even by a huge amount, but they beat earnings by 8.13%. They beat their revenue by 2.45%. So holy banana bread. All right, now Microsoft. I think Microsoft also was doing good here. Let's find Microsoft. I'm pretty sure I thought I had Microsoft in here. Maybe I don't. Let's see. There's Tesla, Meta. All right, let's add Microsoft. All right, MSFT. All right, I probably had to remove it to give myself some space. All right, Microsoft. Oh, Microsoft, not so much. Look at this. Microsoft is down. Microsoft is down 457. They're down quite a bit. And what's going on? Now let's pull up Microsoft. And Microsoft beat, but they're down. So something in that earnings report people are not liking. Microsoft beat on earnings by 6%, and they beat on revenue by 1.20%. So that's interesting. Now, guys, if Microsoft stays down going into tomorrow morning, this is a swing opportunity. Because one of the things, and I'll pull them down a little bit, even in this case, I don't even need a channel. If a good fundamentally strong company, if there's something in the earnings that people don't like and it inflates or deflates the price quite a bit, it usually comes back. So if it's down here in the morning, I'll make a swing. I'll make a swing on this because it's coming back up. Maybe it might even come up in the afternoon. It might come up later in the week. It might come up in the first week of February. But I think it would be worth. That would be a nice swing. So that's something I will look into for sure. And last but not least, let's get back and check a quick gander at Tesla again. Yeah, they've come down a little bit. So, but they're still doing good. They're still doing good at 444. So just stay up here, Tesla, for tomorrow, and I'll have a good trade. That's what I'm looking for. And Chad says, yes, silver is like 7 to 10% below spot. Sell to a jewelry store, better rates. Oh, there we go. See, that's why I love that we have people like Chad and Jordan and Lisa, who have all of the insight on this. That's fantastic. So oops, sell below, and Microsoft sold off. Yeah, I know. We were just looking at that. Tesla said today they will invest $2 billion into XAI. Nice. Elon talks too much with any action. Yeah, well, it's the autism. It just, his brain is going a mile a minute, and he doesn't always always form things in the best way. Bismarcky says, good afternoon, all. And no action hand. Tesla has not sold their Bitcoin in Q4. Nice. I like that. Bismarcky says, I like HHIS. I'll happily take the 27 cents per share every month. Yeah, for sure. All right. And Mark says, growth versus income depends whether you're in accumulation or consumption phase and which account you're drawing dividends from, non-registered versus registered. A balanced portfolio is the key. Yeah. And if you are in that situation, so, like I am a growth income investor, but if you're retired and you just want income, well, you're not going to care about the growth part. You're going to be, you'll be looking at something like HHIS and says, more, please. And it makes sense. Bismarcky says we're at 61. Oh, did we get to 60? All right, let's take a gander. We are at 68. So guys, you know what that means. 2 more likes, and I will not mention likes again. Likes, no more like mentioning today once we get to 70. 70 is that magic number. I have noticed, though, since the little Rogers stuff at the beginning of the stream, it has not happened again. That's actually encouraging. Ian said, this Financial Express reminds me of Ken Jennings on Jeopardy back in the day. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you guys remember, I mean, Ken was like, he just kept winning over and over and over again, and it just kept going and going and going. No, that was fantastic. And the Financial Express, I mean, there's a chance if we kept the Financial Express going all the way to next December, there could be a chance that we'll end up having a year. Yeah, it could happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but I honestly didn't think I was going to make it through January. And quite literally, we're one more Financial Express away from January right now. One, that's it. Just one more, and we'll have an opportunity to do that tomorrow. So yeah, and that that'll push us into February. So it's like a 1 month thing turned into a 2 month thing, and maybe it'll turn into, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Andrew says, I'm thinking oil and gas will soar in the next year. Um, I think oil and gas are going to have a good year this year. They're not going to have a banner year, but I think they will have a good year. 2027 could be interesting. Yeah, it's too far out to really make any predictions, but I think it could be good. I think it could be good. Paul says Meta revenue, 59.89 billion, so plus 24 year over year. Net income, 22.77 billion, plus 9% year over year. A diluted EPS, $8.88, plus 11% year over year. Key drivers, ad impressions, plus 18%. Year over year, the big news capital expenditure guidance, 135 billion. Yeah, I mean, they're doing fantastic. Although I will say this, guys. I am very annoyed with Facebook. Like, I will go to Facebook, I will get, it's like there's just so many ads, and so many, they also put up all these groups. I get groups, like group after group saying, I think we think you might like this group or this group or this group. So sometimes I just find that there's way too many ads. I want to see, if I go to Facebook, I want to see my family or whoever, whoever it is that I have on Facebook. But yeah, anyway, that's just my Facebook rant for a moment. Chad, how much did Meta go up in after hours? Oh, Chad. Chad, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. All right. So here we go. Right now so 668, they're sitting at 729. So that's like more than $50. It's more than $50. It's closer to $60 in after hours. So absolutely holy banana bread. Oh, and guys, we got a super sticker coming in here from Paul, and well, guys, that does bring out our Monopoly goat, who's doing a little dance for us. So what can I say? Good old Monopoly goat. All right. Thank you very much, Paul. And there we go. We got a super sticker, even on a day when we don't need one. So I still appreciate it big time for sure. All right. And let's see here. We were. Doop-a-doop-boo-boo. Let's see. I was at Chad. We're at Chad right here. There we go. We were at Chad. Ian says, I can't buy super stickers. So here's a bunch of emojis. All right. Thumbs up, egg, salt. What is that? Some kind of hand thing, cranky, and a dinosaur. All right. Huge news, re-earnings doc. Tesla now owns 1% of XAI. That's interesting. Yeah. And I've been saying this, guys. One of the things I've been saying not that long ago, I was talking about how I'm very bullish long-term on Tesla, because when you start to look at the big picture and the interconnectivity between Tesla, SpaceX, Skylink, XAI, it's like there's a big picture there that's happening, and I can see a lot more connection between the two. And here's a piece of it right here. Tesla now owning 1% of XAI. So yeah, I think there's going to be, I'm pretty bullish on where this is going. Michael says, maybe I've missed something over the years. Do you have any other passive income outside of investing? Some of them I've seen talk about end up being a lot of work. Thoughts? Okay, outside of investing, no, I don't have any passive income. So right now, I've got two main sources of income, obviously. YouTube. So YouTube being one main source, and then the swing trading. So, eventually, someday, when YouTube is much bigger and I can support myself off of it, I won't have to do as much swing trading. I probably will still do the same amount, but right now, that's kind of where things sit for sure. All right. Paul says, yes, when you have USD stocks, the exchange rate affects your balance. October 2025 1 USD equals 140 Canadian versus now 135.5. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Earthquake felt in Ontario last night. I didn't feel it, but it depends on what part of Ontario. And just now, earthquakes hit Japan. 18,000 people. Holy banana bread, really? Guys, let's take a quick gander at that. Oh my gosh. Let's go to CNN here for a second. That's not good. We don't have anything here yet. All right. Oh, no, no. What? No. Oh, that's a bomb cyclone. Okay. I saw there and I got a little excited. Actually, you know who's a little bit faster when it comes to news? Drudge Report. Now they're a little right leaning, but they sometimes have stuff that comes in pretty fast in here. We'll get out of the Drudge. We'll head back here, and I'm not seeing any. I'm not seeing anything. That's weird because normally if there's a big earthquake, I normally get some notifications unless there's something wrong with the notifications. But all right, so for now we'll just we'll leave it as it is for now. But holy banana bread, I hope it's not that bad. But oh gosh. All right, my Meta doing well after hours. Yes, absolutely. Michael says, many thanks for briefly looking at Mirren. I forgot to mention that I purchased some closer to 180 for a quick or short-term trade while getting the dividend if held for longer. Nice. That's not bad. Paul says you might have to get a TradingView subscription for more than 30 in the watch list. Trading just gave an ad for 1 month for $1. Not sure of the conditions. Oh, okay. Well, maybe. Let's see. Lily says, hi, everyone. I think Adriano did a comparison of EQT ETF with an interview with JJ, and then I think HEQL was on top. Okay, interesting. Let's see here. Would you swing trade GLCL right now? If yes, what's your play? So GLCL, that of course is Global X. That's their leveraged version of GLCC. Would I swing it? I could. Right now, I typically will swing channels though. That's the thing. So when you look at GLCC, and here, let's pull it over here. GLCL. All right. Now, you could be looking at, and here, I'm just going to I'll pull up the 6 months on this here. As it began right at the beginning of this 6 months, yeah, it's one of these trades. But now here's the problem with gold is that if we did get a bit of a correction, you could get stuck in it for a little bit. But I don't think so. I think it's not bad. Now, 48. If I got into a trade with something like of this side, I like to do 1,000 shares. So 48, that's $48,000. So that it would be a bigger trade than I would like. So I normally try to. It's one of the reasons I use CDRs as well. Is I try to keep the prices down so I can make multiple trades opposed to just a single one. So I don't know if I want to put 48,000 into one basket. That if I were to do a trade on something like this, I would probably do a half size, like maybe a 500 share trade opposed to 1,000. So that might be something to do. It's not really on my radar though. At least not yet. But now you've got me thinking. Oh boy. Let's see here. Paul says, are your feet kicking any Ethernet cables at the back of your desk? Those connectors do not last forever. Nope, there's no Ethernet cables in here at all. Paul says Facebook looks and works the same as years ago. Really, for you? Oh, for me, I just gotta. Maybe it's just their algorithm thinks I like ads. I don't know. Shane says priced in gold, the SPY is at near COVID lows. That could be interesting. That could be, absolutely. Sue says after selling HL last Thursday for 60% profit, I repurchased today at 27.05. HL is a large silver mine in Canadian American. Yeah, yeah. Well, let's hope. Let's hope. What are your thoughts on VLE? VLE. Let's take a look. Oops. It's VLE, not VLER. So Valera Energy. All right. So let's take a gander. First of all, let's take a look. They've been, yeah, they've been up and down quite a bit, but this is a pretty nice pump that they're on currently right now, and this has been going since what, November. So interesting. Interesting enough here. I'm gonna have to go into the back end here to get any kind of information. So let's take a look here. Not a lot of debt, so 17% debt to equity. I love that. Look at this. Now, their return on equity right now, 57.15%. That's not too shabby. So I love a high debt to equity. Now, if I had any complaint, it is a smaller well, it's not even that small anymore. It's like $9.74. So yeah, I've got nothing. I got nothing negative with this company. Obviously, it's going to be a growth play if this is something you guys are interested in. Still, I would still go in, do your background, do your due diligence, check up, see what the company's doing, see what kind of news. Like even simple as coming in here and looking at the news, you can sort of see if there's anything in here that's really, really interesting. So let's see. All right, this is their 2026 guidance is in here. I like to read guidance because it gives me an idea of where they are planning to take the company in the next year. So that's not a bad thing. Let's see. Why not buy some covered call ETFs as a third source of income? Well, that I do. I mean, like right now, yes, there's the zero. I got a lot tied up in the 0 to 100K challenge. So there is covered call in there, and that is technically income, though it goes straight back into the challenge. I'm not pulling any of the income out of that. So, but yeah, I am, once I get to a point that, trying to think, when I get to retirement, I will have a TFSA absolutely full of income ETFs, and I will be creating that extra income from it. Now, I don't know what retirement is going to look like. I don't know when I plan to do it. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I can do the YouTube for a very long time. And even if I did retire, like let's say by the time I got to 70, if I'm starting to slow down at 70, that just might mean that instead of 2 videos a week, you guys get 1. That would probably be what retirement looks like. And down the road too, like, we have to sort of see how AI gets. It might even become a time, at some point in time where like if I'm, if I'm too old to make videos, who's to say I don't have an AI avatar doing it for me? There's a channel out there that I watch from time to time, and the person who does it, they're kind of, I think their health is in bad shape, but they went and created an AI avatar of themselves, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But no worry, guys, I don't plan to replace myself with an AI avatar anytime soon, but ask me again in 10 years, and that answer might change. Paul says MSTE closed at 456, down almost 2%. I saw SATs per share has gone down since November 2025. I only have 13 shares, so not a big loss, but 260 a month income. Okay. Do you get ads to subscribe to TradingView? I think get them all the time. Like every time you switch stocks on the mobile app, I never renewed my subscription. I only on the actual when I'm on TradingView. That's the only time I've ever really seen some of their ads. But oh well. That's fine. Like I said, I don't. All right, that was funny. That was funny. I mentioned that Rogers had been okay since that little thing at the beginning, and right at the end, as I'm going into the end zone, it decides to drop it again. I can't believe it. Actually, guys, before we leave, I do want to, whoops, let's go back one last time to take a quick gander. So yeah, here we go. Meta in after hours, up big time, 733. And finally, good old Tesla. Tesla, where are you, Tesla? There you are. Tesla, still sitting up here at 444. So looking to have a good day for Tesla tomorrow. Let's hope this continues to go up. And I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, wait a minute. Mary's saying, so why is Candace not seeing my question? I did not see a question. Let me scroll back, Mary, because I will not miss. I'm not going to miss a Mary question. Or, just retype it in right now, Mary. But I'm just going to scroll back and see if I somehow missed your question, because I do not, especially considering when Mary talks, I normally get to have some coffee. So I like that. I'm scrolling back. I'm scrolling back. I'm scrolling back. I'm scrolling back. Okay, and I'm all the way back to 4 o'clock now. So, oh, Mary, did you put like a company name in it, like with .to or something? Maybe it didn't like that. So if you're asking about a company, don't put the dot. Just put the name, and I can take a look. That's what it is. Ah, yep. I bet you YouTube thought you were trying to put a web address in. And actually, you know what, Mary? Mary. Just give me a second. How do I do this? Let me see here. All right. I should. Oh, I think I have to do it from YouTube. Give me a second here. All right, let's pull it over. Here we go. Here's Mary. All right. There we go. All right, here we go. Boom. Mary, I just made you into a moderator. You don't have to do anything. It just means that if you do want to put a link in the chat, it'll let you do it. So, yeah, there we go. Now I think you're good. All right, just give me a second here. Let's, what am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at YouTube. That's why I was like, what's going on? All right, let me pull up this one here. There we go. And what are we looking at? Pine Tree. Okay. Pine Tree. There's Pine Cliff. Pine Tree Real Estate. Pine Tree Cap. Pine Tree Cap. All right, let me put in the cap and see if I get more here. Pine Tree Cliff Energy, PNE, Pine U, Pine Tree Cap. Why am I not finding that? All right, give me a second here. Let's go to Google. All right. All right, let's see what I got. That's actually funny. Oh, PNP. Oh, all right, there. That helps. All right, PNP. I think we did see that. All right, let's. I just find that hilarious that I went there and it showed me an actual cap. PNP. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So Pine Tree Capital. There. Oh yeah, cap. All right, I get it. All right, let's pull it up here. Oh, look, they had a really good day, up 3.47%. All right, not too shabby. Oh, yeah, look at this. I see this little bit in here, so that's pretty cool. All right, on a couple of things here. First of all, let's take a look at the year out. Oh, well, this is interesting. So they've been on the way down all year, and now, oh, okay, this changes my mind a little bit. So, oh, that's kind of interesting. Let's take a look here and just see what they're looking here. Enterprise Software and Technology, incorporated under, okay, yeah, publicly traded. Okay, so it's not telling me a lot of what they do, but Enterprise software and technology, that could be part of the issue, is some of that software. Because, depending on what their product is, and I'd need to do a bit more digging, this could be the same sort of situation that's kind of been downing like CSU. But let's go into their back end for a second. And let's see here. Okay, so it looks like they have no debt, and they've got a really good return on equity, 38.02%. That's fantastic. That is really fantastic. And I also want to just jump onto the news for a second here. Let's see, TrueBridge announces extension of cooperation agreement with Pine Tree Capital. Okay, that's not bad. Chief Investment Officer had a returns from a leave of absence. Okay, so the news looks okay on Pine Tree Capital. I don't know why. Like I said, I'd have to do a bit more digging to find out what's going on. And here's something I do want to look at. PNP. Give me a second here. I'm going to go to Yahoo Finance. All right, here we go. And PNP, Pineapple, Pine Tree Capital here. I want to look at one little thing. I just want to see where the analysts are sort of predicting that it's going in the year. It's not even giving us a 1-year target on this one. That's interesting. But I do have more information in here that's kind of, come on. All right, there we go. All right, let's see here. Here we go. Now this is interesting. So Yahoo is saying that they do have a 0.20%. That would actually get averaged to 0. That would get averaged to 0 on the other one. So they have a tiny bit of debt, but it's really, really, really tiny. But this is the number I wanted to see, one of them. Look at their profit margin, 93.19%. That's not too shabby. So I would say if you're patient with them, if you were to get in on Pine Tree at this point, if you're patient with them, I think you'll probably make money. Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. I think it's very interesting. I would still do a little bit more, just a little bit more digging, just to see what's going on there. All right, and of course, Mary said that as I was on the way out, guys, but I will quickly catch up before I leave because, hey, you guys are there. Exposing gold is insane. Why is silver being slow? I think silver has really, really, really been punching it hard lately. Today it's a little bit on the slower side, and maybe it's just silver catching its breath, but I'm still very bullish on all three: gold, silver, copper. So I wouldn't be super worried about if which one is leading the pack. The fact is, I think the pack is going to be leading a lot of the market this year still. Okay, let's see. People need a much larger safe and store silver compared to an equal value in gold. Good point. Yeah, absolutely. Because obviously, silver, the same amount financially of silver is going to take up a lot more space than gold, 100%. And quite literally, even though I say I'm bullish on copper, guys, you probably don't want to be stacking copper bars. I'm thinking you probably wouldn't. Let's see, in 2025, Tesla added 20. In 2025, Tesla added 100,000 FSD subscriptions each quarter. Okay, nice. So yeah, overall, it looks like things are going well for Tesla. Fantastic. So guys, we are at the end. We've gone a lot further than I intended, but that's fine. I don't mind. We will be back again tomorrow. We have a market close, and that's going to be fantastic. Oh, and tomorrow, if you are a channel member, you will be able to see the next video. It'll be out before 2 o'clock. I'll probably drop it about 1 o'clock, to be honest, just to give you guys a bit of extra time. Yeah, it's been another great show. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I think I've got one last thing I wanted to say before we close out here, and that is